What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LOI TV. Today we're joined by Cork City player Dylan McGlade. Dylan, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you keeping yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, lads. How are you?
All good,
Good,
man.
thanks.
All good.
How's pre-season been for you? You're unlucky versus Pats on Sunday. You've Rovers next Saturday. But what's the mood like in the camp at the minute?
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Obviously the boys are all kind of just happy to be back in pre-season and being able to train and stuff. Obviously, a lot of people at the moment are in a situation where they're either working from home or they're not working at all. So we're kind of lucky in that sense that we're able to get in every day and train and relatively normally. It was just good to get back out on the pitch. Pat's obviously a really good side, but I think we showed good fight and we showed little glimpses of what we're able to do. We scored a good goal. So it ended up being a pretty good workout for us, and it gave us something kind of to work towards for the game coming up on Sunday against Rovers now.
Yeah, have you found it yourself? Like, have you found it hard to kind of get back up to match fitness, or were you kind of kept busy over the winter?
It was. I can't lie. It was very tough. Obviously with the bad weather and the gym closing and stuff like that, it was hard enough to kind of get yourself out and keep your fitness up, and even just motivation kind of thing with just the whole situation that everybody's been in, just motivating yourself to be able to get up and go and train and stay professional. But we've had a good pre-season so far. It's been very tough, probably one of the toughest I've done, but it's been really, really enjoyable. And yeah, we're at that stage now where the games are coming in, so everybody's kind of starting to pick up their fitness levels, and once the games kind of kick in, training kind of eases off very, very slightly, but it eases off so that we can start to work on stuff and training going into the games for the start of the season.
Just touching on last season, of course, like hugely disappointing to go down. What's the mood like in the dressing room? Are there many lessons to kind of take into this season to try get promoted back straight away?
Yeah, it was obviously very disappointed, kind of not really anybody's plan, to be honest. Like, no, we didn't think that we would be up the top of the table, but we definitely didn't think that we would be relegated. So for a club like this to kind of go down, it was really a hammer blow for a lot of the squad, really, because they were all Cork fellas, you know what I mean? Grew up playing for Cork and supporting Cork, and obviously everybody knows how big the fan base is and how big the club is. So it was disappointing, but I think we've kept kind of the core of our squad since last season, which I think would really stand to us. And to be honest, like, it is, apart from maybe one or two of us, it is relatively a core squad, and all them boys, like all them boys will fight for Cork, and they want to see Cork go back up, as do I and the other boys. And I think that kind of team spirit and kind of togetherness will definitely stand to us over the full season, kind of going forward and our quest to kind of go back up.
Yeah, obviously one of the core squad members from a really successful period in Cork City, Stephen Beattie, who recently re-signed after a spell in the States. Has he been a big boost into the dressing room?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody's like Beat said he's not from Dublin anymore. He's basically from Cork, so it was like he'd never really left. Really, he came back into the dressing room as you would expect from somebody of his kind of standing. Won leagues and cups and has a really high standard. And he came straight back in, and there was no real messing about. He kind of let everybody know what the situation was and what this club means to the people of Cork and how big of a club it is. And he said there's no one ways about it. We're going to go and try and get this club back into where it should be. And it's just great to have somebody of that kind of experience there. I think we lacked it really last year. I think apart from kind of Benno and Null, who were really kind of crossing over, they were coaches / players. I think the next oldest was Gerard Morrissey, and then the next oldest was me. So there was not really that much experience there in our squad, and I think bringing somebody like Beats back in will really stand for us kind of through the season, and especially for the younger players as well.
For sure, for sure. There's a good few other signings as well, like I said, Jamie Wynn, Jack Baxter as well from Preston coming in as well. How are the other signings settling in? A few others as well.
Yeah, but they're settling in really well. Jamie's obviously being at Dundalk and being around a successful dressing room and very good players and squad. So you can see it himself. He knows the standard that has to be at, and he's been a good addition. He's very good on the ball. He's a very technical player, and he likes to go forward and create things. So they'll definitely bring excitement to the side. And obviously Jack comes from good pedigree. You can even see when he steps into training straight away. You can see his quality on the ball and his passing range and stuff. So he will be the same. He'll be a very welcome addition kind of to the squad. And to be honest, we have a great group of lads here. So any new players that do come in, I think we integrate them very well into the team and we make them feel welcome and kind of bring them straight into the panther. There's no holds barred. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your first day or your first hour. Like, you're going to get flagging off some of the boys and you're going to be brought into the panther. So it's a really good squad like that as well. Like, we bring people in straight away and there's no real outsiders. Like, we're all pretty much a very core unit.
Amazing. So this first division is set to be like one of the most exciting in years, with like Shells, Bray, Galway, all kind of big clubs like yourselves hoping to get promoted. I look forward to the challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Really am. And I think I said this in an interview only a couple of weeks ago, but every year I've played in the first division. I think this is my fourth year, sorry. Every year I say this is going to be the toughest division yet. It's going to be the best first division I've played in yet, and every year it gets even better. So I'm really, really excited. There's some big clubs like in there, like Galway and Shells. Or there's going to be some massive games, you know what I mean? And even sometimes people would have said that there was a few, like there was 5 or 6 really good clubs, and then there was a few with them boys, like you would say. But this year it doesn't look like there's going to be anything like of the like. It looks like it's going to be everybody's built up a very good squad. Even Athlone have put together a very very good squad. They've made some quality signings, and they're, I think, going to be underdogs this season definitely. So, and it's exciting for players, like, you know what I mean. At every game you have to be at your best and you have to be up for it, and every game is going to be a good, tough game. It's going to be a different game, but it's going to be a good, tough game. So it's looking like it's going to be shaping up for a very exciting year. And hopefully the fans can get back in at some point to be able to kind of watch it, because I would say probably there'll be some record crowds if the crowds were allowed back in on a normal year. There'll be definitely some record crowds this season for some of the games.
For sure. Do you mind if you just finish off with some quick fire questions for you?
Yeah, no bother.
So the first one is your favourite player when you're growing up.
My favourite player is going to be a funny one, but it was Roy Keane. On the complete opposite of him, like, but I don't think he'd like me very much, but he's always been much, just since I was a young player, or since I was a young lad. I was a Man City or a Man United fan as well, so he was just everything to me.
Yeah. Next one is, do you have any pre-match routines or superstitions?
Not really. I've never had. I just kind of, it's just really just music. As long as I'm on the music, that's my thing. If I'm on the music, then that's my happiness there.
What tunes? Anyone in particular?
Everything, anything and everything. The boys give me sticks because I play everything and anything, but everything and anything.
Love it. The best player you've played with?
The best player I've played with, kind of at first team level, I've played with a couple of really good players, but I'd probably say David Cawley in the League of Ireland. I think he goes really under the radar. I think he's a top player, and Christy Fagan probably as well. They're probably two of the best. I both played with them at PAC, and they were some of the best players probably.
Yeah. The hardest opponent you've come across?
The hardest opponent. There's been a few tough ones over the years, like, to be fair. The toughest. Probably Sean Hoare. He's just the most aggressive fella ever, like, and he's just so angry all the time. Like, I'd like try to make, like, because I'd know Sean, and I'd try to make a joke with him on the pitch, and he'd just stare at you, like, and then after the game, he'd be like, "Oh, how are you getting on?" Whatever. But he's just so aggressive, like.
Yeah. Lovely fella off the pitch, but on the pitch he's something else.
Lovely fella, yeah.
Your favorite goal you've scored?
Favorite goal I've scored. It's probably either I scored a goal against Capinteely for Longford, where I kind of like just was chopping players around the box and there was people falling all over the place. And
I think I've seen that.
And that was a big game. That was a big game, actually. We needed to get a win. I think that they had just scored as well, just before it. And it had been disallowed, and that would have made it 2-1. And I think I scored that one. Or that would have made it 2-2. And then it got disallowed, and I scored that, and then I scored straight after it. So I think that was probably my favourite one, because it was such a big game as well.
Yeah, for sure. And the final question for you, your best moment of football?
My best moment? Probably either between playing for Ireland in the Euros. That was a big thing. I think any player that's played for Ireland at any age will say that that's the best moment. And probably making my first team debut for Shells. Probably them two, I'd say.
Yeah, class. Listen, Dylan, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Best luck for the season. And
cheers, lads.
Yeah, hopefully see you down at Turner's Cross at some stage.
Cheers, lads. Thanks for having us on.
Man.